Hello everyone, Professor Lohit here. Today we are going to see the lecture number 13, Superelevation. As a continuation of the last class, that is the design of horizontal curves, we've seen that when the vehicle negotiating the horizontal curves, the centrifugal force is introduced, that is outside the curve. Here, in that leads to having the two conditions. Either vehicle going to have the overturning effect or going to have the transverse skid effect. Then how to counter these two? To counter that, you have to provide the superelevations. The superelevation is nothing but the increase in the outer edge of the curve to some height. Okay, that is introducing the rate of superelevation at the curves. That will counter the centrifugal force. Here, the rate of superelevation, that is E, small e, called as a rate of superelevation, and is expressed the ratio of the height of the outer edge with respect to the horizontal width. This is the outer edge, and that is with respect to the horizontal width, and that is payment raised, that is NLE, and the rate of the superelevation is expressed as E equal to, this is NL divided by ML. That is nothing but making this some angle that gives you the tan theta, which is approximately equal to the sin theta. So that is expressed as what? E by B. So rate of superelevation is nothing but cant height, that is whatever the height you are having, divided by the width of the pavement, that is B, width of the pavement. So that is expressed, E is nothing but rate of superelevation into B, that gives you the height. B is nothing but the width of the pavement. If I analyze superelevations, the forces acting on a vehicle moving on a circular curve of having their radius r in meters and v in meter per second, three forces comes into the picture. One is the centrifugal force, that is P is equal to W v square divided by gr, acting horizontally outwards to the center of the gravity. And second is the weight of the vehicle along the vertical downward through the CG, and the frictional force developed between the wheels and the pavement counteracting the transversal along the pavement surface towards the center of the curve. So if I analyze this, okay, by deriving the equations, I am going to get the equation that is E plus F is equal to V square divided by GR. E is here is nothing but rate of superelevation. F is nothing but design value of friction. Which friction? Lateral friction coefficient. Clear? But remember that this is the lateral friction, and when you are using in stopping side distance and OS, that is the longitudinal friction. The lateral friction is F here, is equal to V square, that is speed of the vehicle, divided by G is nothing but acceleration due to the gravity, and R is nothing but radius of the curve in meter. And if I express this in kmph, the same equation will be given as E plus F is equal to V square divided by 127 R. G is 9.81. If I convert this, it gives 1 divided by 3.6 square. 3.6 square into 9.81 gives you 127. So either you have to remember this or this. This here the input is in meter per second. Here you can give the input in kmph. This is a very important formula in the horizontal curves. Clear? E plus F is equal to V square divided by 127 R. Clear? And how much you have to provide the superelevations? Here the superelevation for any rural highways, you go up to the 7%. The maximum you can provide up to the 7%, and for urban road you can provide up to the 4%. And this, whatever the providing the superelevation, is depend upon the design speed and the radius of the curve. So let us see the steps for the superelevation designs. Here are the 4 steps you have to remember when you want to design the horizontal curve. The first one is the superelevation is calculated for the 75% of the design speed, and what we are neglecting is the lateral friction, not considering any lateral frictions. So this equation, whatever is the E plus F is there, F becomes 0 here. So only we get remember with V square divided by G R, where the design speed has to take 75% of that. So the equation becomes E equal to 0.5 V square divided by GR, or in kmph it is 0.75 V square divided by 127 R. If I take it below, it will be V square divided by 225 R. Either you remember this or you remember this. And the second step is, if the E, whatever the rate of superelevation, if it is less than 7%, that is 0 point less than 0.007, the value whatever you are going to obtain is provided that. If it is greater than 7, then go for taking 7% as a E, go for the next percent. You can't provide more than 7%, so you can keep the maximum as 7. If you get 8% also, you have to keep it as a 7 only. You can't give more, you can't provide more than 7%. It's clear? In case of third steps, now you keeping the 7% of the E, the check for F, develop for the maximum value of E. That is, F is nothing but is equal to V square divided by GR, that whatever the E is, then I provide it here. Same if it is a value is in input is in kmph. So now if you get the F, that is lateral friction, within the 0.15, because 0.15 is the maximum what you can provide for the lateral friction. If it is whatever the F value you are getting, it is within the 0.15, then provide with the same design speed. If it increases, then either the horizontal curve has to be increased, or design speed has to be decreased. You have to do anything. So if you have to keep with the same radius, then what you do, you have to restrict the speed. How are you going to restrict the speed? You can keep the maximum E value as 0.07. You can keep the maximum F value, that is lateral friction, as 0.15. That will leads you 0.22 is equal to V square divided by V. This allowable, whatever the velocity we write is V suffix A, because that is allowable speed or restricted speed. So whatever the speed you are going to get from this formula, you keep that speed. That is nothing but you can see the on highway there is a restriction speeds that written in around circular board, 50 km/h, 60 km. That shows that on that particular stretch of the road you can't exceed the speed more than that. If it increases more than that, whatever the stretch of the road is not compactable more than that speed. Clear? That's the reason why they restrict the speed at particular stretches. That is what we call as allowable or restricted speed. It's clear? We see some prompts on this in the next class. Thank you for your patience hearing.